Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for supporting our podcasts. And today I want to start by first asking you that which is the video idea or something happening that you want us to pay attention and maybe do some research and package a podcast about. You know, sometimes it's not all about what we think, but also you as a viewer, you think we should look at. Now, fast forward, there is something that I want us to pay attention to in this podcast. There is a trending video and this video is from Mount Kenya, and I think specifically I was told it's in Roysambu, where Juakali, people from Juakali and sectors converged, and in this video you are seeing they're pulling down a banner that was UDA banner that was in the area that had been erected there during the campaign period. It has been there for nearly now 8 months after the elections. So this video, I've tried, I think I received it 2 days ago. I saw it 2 days ago. And I've been trying to just ask some people around in other social media platforms about what it is all about. And what I've gathered here is that there was supposed to be a protest by these Juakali leaders and some business community around this place. And while they were gathering, planning on how to maybe plan the protest, they first took their anger to that banner and brought that banner down. Now, this is a political observation that is being made that in some parts of Murang'a and Kiambu, these political messaging tools are being brought down. I know according to IBC they're supposed to be defaced some few days to the election. In fact, on the election day, there is no single poster or banner that should still be up, especially around the polling centers. And of course, the cleaning exercise of making sure that people come out of it. But I want to say that there is a clear line on what exactly is happening. And this is showing something, the reality on ground. And I want to analyze this incident of pulling down the banner using these three reasons behind it. So my power three is on what exactly is behind that move. And I want to say that Kenyans do not have a mental picture of what the government of the day is talking about. There is a disconnect between what the government thinks is doing or allegedly is planning to do and the mental picture that Kenyans have about the administration. At this moment, let me pause and ask a question. What is your mental reflection on what exactly is going on? What is a mental reflection about it? Just today, I was speaking to a very senior elder and a member of this channel, a gentleman who is a very good friend of mine, and he told me that Kenyans do not have a mental picture. The mental picture Kenyans have about Ruto's taxation is totally different from what maybe those vision bearers are thinking about. When you're talking about the overtaxation, I was just reading now that they're also going to tax chamas. Chamas are going to be clumped together as businesses and they're also going to be taxed. So what Kenyans are seeing, the monster Kenyans are seeing in taxation is just fraud, graft, corruption. Our money is going to be eaten. Moving forward to to the housing levy, it is facing strong criticism from the said people that the project is targeting, because the person you are saying in Kibera, and they're telling him about the affordable housing, he's not seeing the mental picture where the said house is. It's not working out to tell someone in Kibera slum that I will move you from this place and take you to Bellevue in South Sea. That picture is not clear. But then, that is what is manifesting in what you're seeing in the mountain. And my power 3 on the act of pulling down UDA-Ruto's banners can best be explained on this. The unrealistic pledges is haunting UDA first term. I want to say what I've always been saying in this channel, that politics is an art of selling hope to the hopeless. And in the spirit, another strategy of selling hope, but if you peruse manifesto, the two manifestos, both from Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, you'll agree with me that each one of them was selling hope. But you will also realize that the UDA manifesto was very colorful, very promising, and was a heaven here in earth. If you compare Azimio manifesto, it was built on continuity. Remember, Raila and Uhuru were in the same place. So it was built on continuity. And Ruto was coming here as the person that is going to break this, to disrupt the status quo. Raila was seen as a continuity candidate. And that is why Anglican Archbishop Ole Sapit is making a lot of sense when he's saying, he's making this statement.
Promises during campaign. And we knew most of them were unrealistic, for sure. I used to remind, don't think that because if you follow the promises of both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza that time, it was like whichever wins, by October Kenya looked like a little heaven. Because the promises were so heavy that everything is sorted out. So it is now moment to face the truth. Just come out and tell Kenyans, the promises we made are unrealistic. Now let's go to prioritization. This is our priority number 1. Priority number 2, put aside until we get enough, then we can now go to priority number 2. But if we try to push.
Yes, it is true that this is the time to tell Kenyans the truth. One of the what is disadvantaging the current vision bearers is that they're biting more than they can chew, number 1, and they're still in the state of denial. The first phase of confession was the political narrative that we found empty coffers. After saying you found empty coffers, then the next phase of that confession will be to set your priority and behave and act, and this is supposed to be seen in policy, as someone who found empty coffers, not cockers, empty coffers. And so, the population is feeling the pressure because the pledges were unrealistic and they cannot be met within the time frame. Let me say it as it is. How many of you remember when we were talking of hawa watu wa bodaboda nimewawekea 50 billion, wile mama mboga tumewekea 50 billion? I don't know. And I remember analyzing people who started following the ball last year. I was analyzing, saying here, where are we going to get that kind of money? I asked that questions many times. I asked 2 questions. Where are you going to get that kind of money? Number 2, Do the hustlers know the value of 50 billion? Do people even have an idea? And I said, the figurative language and this animation of just trying to create a mental picture in people's minds about what is going to be done was just illusional. Sorry to use a more harsher word will be hallucination. So what you are seeing there, pulling down, the act of that pulling down, I can attribute it to what Ole Sapiti said. We have unrealistic pledges are not going to be met. And of course, they fell in the backdrop of, they came amidst a high promise. If you ask me, I think UDA has reversed, has rolled back. In fact, we are back, not even where Uhuru left it. And the people that are saying they want to take to where Kibaki left it. Now, I said that was my power one. My power two is leaders are blinded with political loyalty to the people in the house at the top of the hill. There is a blinded loyalty. And I want to explain blinded loyalty by going straight to Mount Kenya. Look at this tweet. This tweet is from Githunguri Member of Parliament, Gathoni wa Mushomba. She was responding to a post from Miguna Miguna. Because Miguna Miguna told President Ruto yesterday in a tweet, that you need to rethink because we are spiraling downwards and those people that are advising you are actually misleading you. Gathoni Mushomba responded in this comment, in that post, and said, Dr. Miguna, you are 100% absolutely right. A true mirror of the actual ground imechemka. Please tag honorable sycophants whose brains seems to have migrated to the house in the hill. This is the point I was making here. Many leaders, their brains have migrated to the house in the top, migrated to the house in the hill because we just want to be loyal. And those around William Ruto, be it political advisors, economic advisors, party portfolio, and even the security advisors, they have failed to advise the president with a simple thing. Each one and everyone around the son of Sugoi is telling him that Mtukufu Rais, you are on the right course, you are right, don't worry, you'll get him. And they're escorting him to the grave, political grave. If you listen to Okiya Omtata saying that, President, I support you, but we differ on matters constitution.
Na Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nakwambia uko na sheria. Tuko na sheria na tufuate sheria. Watu wameongea hapa mambo mengi, na unajua huko nyuma hii housing bill, hii housing tax. Hii sio mara ya kwanza kuja. Hata mzee Uhuru alileta, na ni mimi ni mmoja wale tuliichapa mpaka ikarudi kuwa voluntary. Na nimemaliza kusoma bajeti yako.
I am not a constitutional expert, but the experts have said that there are some provisions in that finance bill that are just illegal. Lastly, power three. The economic feel-good effect as that is intended by the people is not there because UDA is having a faltering start. You may not be well, you may not be where you are, but at least you need to show signs of a better future. And for someone to forecast, or rather foretell that things are going to be better, we must have the feel-good effect. This is the truth of the matter. And this is what everyone else do not want to confront. The reality here is there are people that cannot pay their rent because of the situation. There are people that are overwhelmed by providing basic needs for their families. There are parents that will have to make choices on who is to be taken to school or not, because the situation cannot allow him or her to school all the children at the same time, me being included. You know, I also have siblings. I cannot handle all of them at the same time. No, you need to ask one to start, then, you know. We are dealing with a situation that we're just insensitive about it. And what you are seeing in public is explanation, or rather is what I can say, people registering their anger about what is happening in the government of the day. So I don't know who's going to listen, because as someone said, we have people, government is arguing with the people, and anyone against it is wrong. The unrealistic pledges, the loyalty, the blinded loyalty, and non-feel-good effect are three factors why things are turning out red in the top of the mountain. And as I finish this analysis, this podcast here, can someone tell me, why is it that Chief Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi is not so vocal about defending the Finance Bill 2023? You know, hii kitu ni mbaya. Let me just give you a breakdown. Huh? There is a breakdown that I just got in my phone here. Just want to get it for you. It's a breakdown that I received here. You know, we've always thought that people are talking about one. Huh? Yes, there is here. Fuel and petroleum products increasing VAT on fuel will lead to high fuel prices and raise cost of living 16%. 3% on turnover tax on hustler businesses. Now, 15% withholding tax, social media influencers and content creators. This is us now. Agricultural products. Bill seeks to reclassify agricultural products, thereby increasing the cost of agricultural produce inputs. 16% VAT on insurance compensation. Baby formula. Those who know it, this will increase the cost of baby milk 16%. Those who buy none. 5% excise duty on human hair, wigs. Motor vehicle advance tax increased from 2,400 to 5,000, depending on the type of the car. 10% excise duty on imported cellular phones. The cost of phones will go down, will go up. 3% housing levy. The additional reductions from employee salaries will further reduce the take-home pay for the employees. 20% excise duty on loans from digital lenders, wale watu wa Tala umepatikana. Tax dispute appeals, 20% deposit on principal amount. Aircraft choppers, 16% VAT on choppers. And aircraft scrapped, this one will allow them to buy the choppers. I'm telling you. Income tax for chamas. Starting July 2023, chamas will be considered as businesses and thus will pay tax on all income generated from the activities. This is what we're talking about. That is what I have summarized in my 3 points agenda. Let's meet in the next podcast.